All right, this is GBP USD. Okay, this is GBP USD, and we can all see this is the daily time frame. The price has been quite bullish, right, since the turn of the year. And this right here, what's happening right here, in my opinion, right, is just a retracement, right? It's another leg to grab liquidity for much more buys. Okay, continuation. Right. So what I was actually looking at was that we take out this, point over here, take out this, right, to mitigate this. There's a heading demand that was created here, right? It's over here was a heading demand. So I would like to see price tap into it. Let's refine it. This is it. Okay. So I would like to see price tap into this demand right here, right? Taking out these lows for a continuation, right? And this overall, after you've had a tap, will be my target, all right? Will be my target. Now price has given us this equal lows over here, failing to, that was last week, failing to take out liquidity over here, all right? Giving us an equal low, which means there's a high chance of price coming back down to take this before we go back up. Okay, so now that price has pumped, giving us some kind of push up, what I'm looking at, we are definitely expecting price to come back down, okay, to take out this equal low. So this area here of supply, this supply area here, right, is where I would like to see my look for a setup. Okay, I would like to see price tap into this as well. Feel this high. All right, tap into it and then give me the confirmation I need for the sale. Okay, why am I using that area? Why am I using that area? Because you can see that when price tapped into this, when price tapped into this area, actually we swept it. Okay, when price swept this area, you feel me? There was some kind of reaction. All right, that's what pushed this whole area here. That's what, correct. A tap into this. After this was taken, this is what happened. And then also, before this main push, there was some kind of area here, a demand here that price was actually supposed to come back into, right, to give us our continuation. But since market had an intention of taking out these lows, which means coming down to this point before going back up, all right, that's if we are right. There was some kind of reaction when price tapped into this, and after this reaction you will see this candle happening here. Okay, you will see the reaction over here. This reaction came from this particular demand candle. Okay, so what I want to do is that I want to see price tap into this. I want to see price tap into this. Also, okay, so I would like to see price tap into this supply, all right, and give us a confirmation or an intention of some kind of reversal. Then we get in, and then our target is going to be this equal lows over here. All right, so now the price has gotten close enough to this. Go down to the 1 hour time frame and then look for what I mean, expect price to, give us that intention. So now all I'm going to do is wait, all right, wait to see what happens. Wait until there is a tap into this, all right, and then some kind of shift before I do it. I get in on the buys, on the sells actually, targeting these lows, right? Because in my opinion, price has to take out these lows if we are actually still bullish, right? If there is no intention of going back lower, we need to tap into this, which means taking out these equal lows and then giving us that bullish intent. Okay, so for now, all I'm going to do is wait for price to tap into this and then we'll see what to do next. Peace out. All right, guys, this is GBP USD. All right, um, I think yesterday I actually expected price to give us some reaction from this supply area. All right, give us some reason, all right, a reason to look for sales. I mean to sell actually, but we are already looking for sales. But then market failed. This supply right here, this supply failed to hold. And since we are still interested in selling, we will look for another area, all right, to see if market is going to give us that reaction we are looking for so we can trade from. And looking at this right here, I can see only this failed block over here, this area. This was the demand that broke this high. Okay, it broke this high, but then market failed to, I mean, it failed to hold. Market came right below it and kept going lower. All right, so now on the 1 hour time frame, I would like to see markets give us a shift. All right, maybe a sweep and then a sell intent, so we go in. All right, other than that, I wouldn't be interested in taking any trades around this point. But if this area fails, if price fails to hold from there, right? If GU happens to not, I mean, reverse from this point, all right? I would like to target these highs, all right? So if this area fails, I'll start looking for buys into this high right here, all right? Because we can all see that liquidity was taken here, all right? And then a break happened after liquidity was taken. And based on the system I use, when liquidity is taken, okay, when liquidity is taken and then there is a break, right, there has to be something within this area, within this high and this low, that you can, sell from. Okay, what I mean is there has to be some structural liquidity, something you can use as inducement, as liquidity to do what, sell from. other than that other than that, this high right here will have to be our liquidity. So market will most likely come up all this way, right? Take this high out and then give us a sell intent. So we sell back down. Why is that? Because for price to move, all right, it needs liquidity. All right, liquidity is what fuels the market. All right, so it has to be an area where people would like to pull their stops. That's where markets would like to trade from. All right, based on the system I use. You can see over here. You can see over here that there was a push, all right, and then this low was formed. After this low was formed, there was no structural liquidity within this point, all right. So market came all the way up, taking out these highs before continuing. Okay, that's what I mean. So since there is no structural liquidity, all right, since there is no structural liquidity, market is most likely going to come up to grab this, all right, before we continue selling. Okay, so coming up, I think it's actually best if we ignore looking for sales and then start looking for entries, buy entries, all right, into this area, all right, into this to that buy side liquidity. Okay, so this is now our target. Actually, I'm going to ignore looking for the sales, and then what I'm going to do right now is look for buys until this high is taken. All right, any sign of reversal, I'll pull back and wait for a confirmation to join. Okay, but for now, I think I'll start looking for buys and buys only. So looking for buys, I think what would I want to? We've had our Asian low being taken. Okay, on 1 hour's time frame, you could see that Asia's low was grabbed. Okay, so we want to see a break of structure here. You want to see a break of structure. You want to see a break, a pullback, and then another break. Okay, so we use this as our structural liquidity, right? And get in from here, target these highs. Even though we are going to do just 3 hour, but that would be our overall target. So this is it on GBP USD. There's nothing more. I'll keep you posted. Thank you.